I'm Marie Gibson, a managerial consultant, and I'm just having a little conversation with you about how new business owners or small business owners sometimes spend their time. And you may be spending your time on sales, managing service clients, promoting development, accounting, paperwork, drudgery, right? So that's what we think about our accounting and our reporting and our data entry. And I'd like to ask you where you'd like to focus your time. Usually, the answer I found for my clients is not accounting and it's not paperwork. They're usually trying to figure out how to have the answers to the critical questions that they have without actually doing that type of work. So when we talk about accounting and data entry, record keeping, taxation, bookkeeping, it's really important to understand the differences and the subtleties between those two areas because it might help you to start prioritizing what you want to spend your time on. So record keeping is it's a basic process of creating a system to store all your necessary documents. And those might be financial, they might be non-financial. It's filing in a manner that you can actually find them. So it doesn't mean that you can toss them on the floor or put them in a big corner or shove them on the top of your desk or bury them because they might be files and client files and vendor files, advertising catalogs that you need to have access to. You need to be able to put your fingers on them. So it's the paperwork side of the things, right? It's how do you organize and store that paperwork? And anymore, we have a lot of options. We have the digital options, electronic files, and those we need to be able to find at our fingertips as well. Now, bookkeeping is a little different style or a little different, more in-depth version, if you want to call it in-depth, but it's the tracking and recording of the financial transactions. And it's a standard procedure that was developed in 1494 by an Italian monk. And I might have more on that story at another time. But traditional bookkeeping uses debits and credits, and there's historically been a formal process to ensure that the transactions are recorded accurately and no one's stealing from your business, right? And the reporting is correct. So if you're reporting to the government or you're reporting to a lender or you're reporting to a partners or shareholders, that is all standardized and it's all correct. Now, accounting is a little more analytical in nature. It includes taxation, it includes audit, reading reports, understanding the story of your business, understanding the stories of your numbers, financial statement analysis, decision making from those reports. And new business owners and small business owners often have to do all three of these components. However, I always encourage a business owner to do what they do best. Now, with that said, you cannot simply abdicate your responsibility for the other. You may have a bookkeeper helping you. You may have an accountant doing your taxes. You may have somebody actually pitching in, but you don't get to ignore the story of your numbers. You are acting as the CFO. If you don't have a CFO, if you don't have anybody else acting as a CFO, you are the chief financial officer, and it's your job to read the reports regularly and make sure they're accurate. And if something doesn't add up, literally, then that's your job to check on it. And I know business owners sometimes fly by the seat of their pants, but it's best to use your story, best to use your information, your reports to make wise business decisions. And you can make those decisions with certainty in uncertain times. And I know learning accounting is like learning a foreign language. Learning to read your reports is like learning a foreign language. And yes, it does take practice. And that's why we're here to help you learn to read your own story from your own reports. So I'm looking forward to seeing you more.